Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky. So today I'm doing the second to last sign. Yes, I can't believe I made it. I was looking back at some of the video postings and I was surprised to see how long this has been going on. I can't believe I'm finishing it. As an Aries Gemini, I can't believe I'm actually finishing something. But I am, and it took me a couple years, but I am. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be doing it, and I'm excited to finally be getting to this sign, Aquarius. Yes, the Quirkmeister, as I like to call him. Yeah, Aquarius. So this one's a little bit easy for me. Not necessarily look-wise, but more the look for this, but more as far as Aquarians go. I get them. Because a lot of my good friends are Aquarius or Aquarians, especially my best friend. My best friend in the world is an Aquarian, and I love him, but he's a nutter. He really is, in a good way. And, you know, it's funny because there is kind of a difference between signs when it comes to the male energy and the female energy within a sign. So it does kind of change things sometimes as far as traits or certain things. So it's funny because he doesn't really get along with Aries males so much. He's not a huge fan, but he loves Aries women, and he will look for them. And that in Gemini. And those are the kind of troublemakers sometimes in the, not some of the other signs may not appreciate Aries and Gemini as much as others. And he will look for them. Like, he knows immediately if somebody's an Aries woman. He can tell, and he loves them because he likes how straightforward they are. They just say what they want. They're a little bit crazy, spontaneous, and he'll find that entertaining. And I think in general, he just finds unique people entertaining. And this is something that I've kind of noticed with Aquarians, is that they don't like dangerous people or anything like that, kind of the outskirts type of people, but they are kind of interested in people who don't always fit the mold, who are a little bit different. They find them interesting. Being an air sign, they're intellectual, and they will talk to these people and think about what this person's saying and go, wow, they're just completely different, and they'll be intrigued by it. While other signs may be like, yeah, so they're very interesting in that way. Another misconception before we go on to the look is that Aquarius is a water sign. The reason being, their symbol is the water bear, and their sigma, is that correct? I have a cold. Glyph, thank you. I have a cold, so I'm a little bit it's, you'll see it to the side. It's the side. You'll basically see it's water. It's two waves on top of each other, and again, water. No, air. Definitely an air sign. They're just the water bear. And where that comes from is that the water bear carries, because air signs are about information and giving that information to the masses. It's just that they do it in different ways. Gemini is more of getting a bunch of information like Trivial Pursuit and blasting it out. They're one big Jeopardy board. They're blasting it out. They're the queen and kings of fun facts. Libra is about getting information and then distributing it in an equal way, or in a way that benefits the group. So if there's a group of people having an argument, they'll take all the sides and they'll bring it together and then create a balance of justice so everybody's on the same page. Aquarius is about everybody. So in a humanitarian way almost. So what they do is they'll take information, put it in their jug as the water bear, and when you see them dumping it, it's basically them dumping the information to the masses into the water. So like the river, so that it goes downstream and everybody has it. And that's what it represents, is Aquarius carrying that information on their back and then releasing it to the masses. So they're the water bear, but they are indeed an air sign, because they are not that emotional. But we will get into that. And we know the water signs are more emotional in one way or the other, but Aquarius, the Quirkmeister, not so much. So I am going to go with a very bold look today, because Aquarius is bold. Aquarius is unique, and they don't want some lame look that is docile. They're not going to have it. So this is going to be interesting because there's really not a lot that I would choose for Aquarius. I've used this a lot, which is Aquarius's color. This thing's amazing. It doesn't represent Aquarius at all. This is more like Leo. It's like, what? But whatever. We only have to complain about the colors one more time after this. So that's beautiful. So I am going to go in with this color right here, I think. Whew, I really don't... yeah, I'm going to go in with the mix of these two colors because, again, I have very fair skin. And it's funny because I'm like, I don't want to make a mess of this, but this is going to be a mess because I'm doing something that I would normally never do. And you will see shortly where my madness is going to lead us. So we want to make sure we blend this out really well. So what I meant by Aquarius not necessarily being they're not a water sign, they're an air sign. And why is it that I laughed when talking about emotion? Here's the thing about Aquarius. Like most air signs, they tend to be more logical than other signs in the zodiac. And because they're probably, in my opinion, the most logical of, I would say the most emotional of the air signs would be Libra. I've known a lot of Libras and I just do find them a little bit more emotional. I would say out of the three that Aquarius is the least emotional. And when I say that, I don't mean that they're not emotional beings. They feel that if you're too emotional, it gets in the way of logic, which ends up getting in the way of the situation that you're trying to fix. They're the king of devil's advocate, okay? So people will say, well, this is the way it is, and Aquarius will jump in and go, no, it's not, because you have to look at it from this perspective. Devil's advocate. I've never seen people place devil's advocate so much, and it drives me nuts. As an Aries, it's just like, no. It's like, that's the one thing I'm like, ugh. They love to do it. So if you're going to argue with an Aquarius, no, the devil's advocate does not work. Okay? Because don't do it. Or that will work for them. Don't try to say that this is the way it is, period. If you're one of those stubborn signs, like Taurus, don't do it, because Aquarius will turn the tables and they will bring up another viewpoint and they will argue you to the ground. They argue. Oh, they argue. But that's why in some ways they're come across as non-emotional, is because if they're emotional, they feel like emotions get in the way of logic. And logic is the way that we fix things. Logic is the way that we resolve issues, basically. It's just, and you can't do that with emotion sometimes. So that's why they are like that. And it can be frustrating because sometimes, it's like you just want to spout off. And these are the fixers that want to fix things, argue things, and they think they're helping you. And in their mind, they are. And what they don't always understand is that you need emotion. And so that's just something for you as Aquarians to look at if you're an Aquarius, is that sometimes people just need emotion. They just need to let it out. And they don't need a fixer. That's tough for Aquarius because they're a fixed sign, which means they're stubborn as hell as well. But, they want to fix. They want to help because they're the humanitarians of the zodiac. So I'm actually going to go in with Aries, which makes no damn sense. Because, yeah, that's not Aries. Aries is not this cool blue. They're just not. They're cool, but they're not blue. No. So Aquarius I told you it was going to be bold. I know, everybody's like, what the hell? You're just going in like that and not even telling us? Yeah, I know. So Aquarius takes it very seriously. And so that's why they have to shut off their emotions. But that doesn't mean that they're not emotional. And here's the thing that I've learned, and I've said this to some Aquarians, they will argue me till the death. It's like a gladiator match, let me tell you. They're very emotional beings. They don't show them to everyone, but they're extremely passionate. So when they get mad, they have some of the worst tempers I have seen. because they will, again, fight you to the death. They're stubborn. They're a fixed sign. So they, bless them, they will fight and they will get emotional. And when they get emotional, be prepared, because it's pretty dramatic, because it's been bundled up for so long that it's just like blah. It just comes out, and at times it is like whoa, and you just need to let them go through it. Sometimes they'll say stuff that may hurt because they bottle stuff up, and they are very much about telling the truth. So be prepared. Always be understanding of Aquarius, because they have a lot on their shoulders. Now, this is going to stain. I prime my eyes. This may be fun to get off, but whew. So I think I'm going to take these two and go in with the crease a little bit more to kind of make this, to work this out a little bit, because wow, I told you it was going to be bold. So actually, I'm going to take it to the outer corner as well. Let's do that. Let's do that. So yeah, so music. We'll be right back. So that wasn't royalty-free music. No, it wasn't. So back to Aquarius. So they are ruled by the planet Uranus. And if you know Uranus, and we all know Uranus, it is quirky as hell. It is the only planet that rotates in a strange way. It rotates on its side, unlike the rest of them, or not on its side, but it has a very strange rotation. And because of that, it's very different from the other planets out there. And that's what makes Aquarius so unique. They were originally ruled by Saturn, originally, along with Capricorn. But then as they discovered more, things changed in astrology. And so, yes. So it kind of has a dual, it's interesting when they have dual planets, because they'll still have some of those characteristics. So they could be very serious. They joke around, but they could be very serious and are looking at, like, again, humanitarian causes and the issues of that and how to resolve them. So it's very much a Saturn type of thing, learning things and fixing it and going through it. But then that Uranus energy, ooh, and I mean that in a good way. They're fantastic, but they're quirky. They're very, if you see somebody wearing something unique, clothing, jewelry, it could be a Leo, but if it's just not always well put together, but just crazy, but yet still goes together, and you're like, that's kind of genius, but how the hell did they make that work? That is probably an Aquarius, not a Leo. So, yeah, Aquarius, here's the thing. Aquarius will wear outrageous things. They will say outrageous things, and sometimes it's just for shock value, just because it entertains them, and they love to be entertained. Oh, they love to be entertained, more so than a lot of the other signs. They just love being amused. And so because of that, they will look for it. But they will wear unique things. They will have unique viewpoints, and they just don't care what you think. That's the main thing. If they like it, they're going to do it. And I've never seen a bunch of people who really just don't care. They don't care what people think. And there's times when I've spoken to my Aquarian friends, and I'm like, oh my God, aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you, like, don't you care? And they're like, no. I had one, we were on the subway, and just on the subway, and we were looking at music and talking about music. And so the one starts singing a song from a music book and just singing away. And there's this guy sitting across from us, and he points at him. He goes, no, pay attention. This is for you. And the guy's like, you don't talk to people on the subway. You just don't. But, he does, because he's a nut. And stuff like that. They don't care. No. My best friend will just sing in the middle of the street. I'm going back in with the original color a little bit just to brighten it up. He will go out on the street and just sing full blast. He doesn't care. He just doesn't. And they don't. They have They don't really have a filter in any aspect of their life, and they don't care. They don't have time for that. They're like, why are you being self-conscious? What difference does it make if somebody has an opinion about you? Because your opinion about yourself. They have a really high self-confidence in a lot of ways, because they're not self-conscious. It's a beautiful thing, because they really are just not. They just do not care what people think. Sometimes there'll be those moments where they feel misunderstood, and you'll see that they'll get emotional. That does happen. They're not, like I said, but it's rare. Boy, the stains. Oof. That is just, oof. This could be fun to get off later. Yes, right. So I'm going to go into the outer corner, I know, with a little bit of black. This is very rare for me. This is a moment that should be recorded, and it is being. So that's perfect. I just want to darken it up a little bit. This is crazy. I know. I don't know how I feel about this. I'd never use black, but whatever. So, yeah. So Aquarius, they just are unique in that they're not shy about things. They just really are not. And going back to the causes, they really are big into humanity. And this is something that I've noticed with a few of them, is that they do deal with people, like I said, who are sometimes on the outskirts, and that people may shy away from, and Aquarius doesn't care. They will find these people interesting, but what I've noticed is that they'll also want to help them, because sometimes they feel that people are misunderstood in society. And I think to a degree, a lot of Aquarians growing up were misunderstood. And so because of that, they look at these people and they want to help them. And they do, help them in their own way. And just by listening to them, giving them advice, and they look at it as, it's interesting, because sometimes almost not a bad thing, but almost like a community service type thing, where they're like, I'm going to help these people out, even if these people really don't have a lot of friends. They're really wonderful friends. They really are good to you. The thing that I've noticed is that they don't have a lot of close friends, though. So they'll have a lot of acquaintances, but they have trust issues, severe trust issues. And when they let you into their being, when you become close friends with them, you still always feel like you may not know them. And that's something that my friend and I were best friends. I've known him for years, and there's still a part of me that feels like I don't fully know him. That's kind of locked up. And it's interesting because there's just the area that you see bits and pieces, but it's like you'll never actually get to. And I don't know if anyone ever does. It's interesting. They're very protective of themselves. While they're kind of crazy and like, hey, with people and outrageous. People love them. People love them. People are attracted to their energy. They're just crazy. Some signs, like Virgo or Capricorn or Taurus, this earth signs basically may find them a little bit like, whoa. But they draw people to them with their energy, because it's just so fun, unique, and inviting. And that being said, just because they're very social people, I really see them, it's strange because they appear like an extrovert. Aquarians seem like extroverts, but on the inside they're actually introverts, and they need downtime to recharge. So they'll be out there having a good time, but they need to recharge for a day or two sometimes and just be. And with that, there's that locked up part of them that I feel like nobody will ever see. And I think that's the part that sometimes is misunderstood. Very sweet, very gentle. But to them, that's dangerous because they're not the most trusting people. Because they fix humanity. So by fixing humanity, they see what humanity does to each other. And to them, I think it's depressing a little bit. These are people who can be moody and try to hide it. Because it's a lot to put on your shoulder, a lot to see in the world, and to want to fix it. They won't bitch or cry about it, but you see it, and you're like, a lot of these people would be great as therapists, actually. Very good therapists, because they could separate emotion, from fact. And because of that, they'll take in people's woes and listen and try to fix, but that's a lot to take in. And so that's kind of how I see Aquarius in a lot of ways, is the Zodiac psychologist in a lot of ways. And it's a lot to carry. So they always keep that little piece with them kind of tied in. So you'll never fully understand them because it's just not possible. It's Aquarius. So we're going to move underneath the eye because I'm going to have to do some work on this because honestly, it's proving to be difficult. It's like Aquarius can be sometimes. They really are stubborn. They really are crazy stubborn. A lot of signs are. So we are not going to judge because I'm an Aries. They're very stubborn too. I get it. I do. So now we're going to go underneath the eye here. So here's the thing about Aquarius too. They are really hard to label, going with the original first two colors. They're really hard to pin down and label. So they're ever changing. That's kind of what they are. They are the innovative sign. They're extremely creative. Here's the thing. They are known for being creative, yet ever changing, which creativity is. It's difficult because they're extremely intelligent. They're one of the most intelligent signs of the Zodiac. And they'll tell you because they know it. And they know it. So because of that, they, it's interesting because it's this weird contrast of being artistic and creative because you need to be to fix world problems, but then they're extremely intelligent. So it's this interesting contradiction almost because usually I find with the arts, they're ever flowing and more emotional sometimes, but Aquarius doesn't do it that way. You know what Aquarians would be good at art-wise? Have you ever seen that computer-generated art that's just perfect spheres or whatever? That's Aquarius right there. It really is. So I'm going to go in with the dark one here with Pisces and do it in the corner here because it's too light, I'm finding, and this will darken it up a bit. They would be perfect for that. They really would. That would just blow their mind. But it's this interesting mix of creative yet very intellectual. These are some of the smartest people you'll ever meet. They really are quite brilliant, a lot of them. It's kind of like that mad scientist. If I could describe Aquarius in a character, it'd be that mad scientist that you see with a mix of Austin Powers. Yeah. That's pretty much Aquarius in a nutshell to me. And I mean that in the best way possible. I don't mean that in a negative way because it's not negative. That's freaking awesome. So, yeah, Aquarius, they are creative. Their energy is creative energy and, seeing things in a different, innovative way. That's what they do. They're innovative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the rest of the eye look, blend it out a little bit. These are really good at blending out, almost to the point of like, whoa, sometimes. So at least it'll make it easier. But so then what I'll do is I will put on mascara, I will put on eyeliner, blend this out a bit, and see if we can salvage this, because this is crazy, crazy. Okay, so this is the final look. I did end up putting some of the highlighter in the middle and the corners just to lighten it up a bit, because yeah, it's fun. Personally, I'm not used to things like this. Also, the black was very difficult to work with. It just does not blend at all. And maybe that's normal for blacks. I don't use them, but it just did not budge and it became kind of patchy. So that was a lot of fun. But you know what? I mean, I think Aquarius would like it. And use any kind of like warm tone, kind of neutral blush out there. This one's Kiko Milano. I think it's number 2. Number 2. I love this one. It's like my kind of go-to when I do a warm look. I love this thing. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love it. But yeah, I think Aquarius would really like this. I mean, I hope, they wouldn't be afraid to go in there and use color. So for them, this is just great. They're like, what's the issue, lady? You know? Looks good to me. And they wouldn't be afraid to try it. They really wouldn't. So I have some powder on here. They would go for it. And they wouldn't apologize or think twice. That's right. So the next thing that I am going to use is just Flexitarian. I think it is for ColourPop. You can use any highlighter. I kind of want something lighter because first off, it'll break up the craziness of this look. And I don't know, I just kind of like that ethereal kind of look for Aquarius. You know, that water-bearing self, you know. Let's put some highlighter in there and make it fun. Blend it out a bit. But, you know, if you want to, you could do a light blue. If you're into the color, you know, highlighters, that would be great. I'm going to skip that. I think there's enough of a statement with this that we don't need to do that. But if you want to take it all the way home, do it. Own it. So I already have something on, and it's MAC Rave Girl. And actually, I think this goes with it really well. I'm happy with it. It's a lot more docile than what I was going for. I was going to take it way over the top, and it's no. So I think this works well. And, you know, it's a little bit dramatic, a little bit out there, but yet I reeled it in. Aquarius wouldn't reel it in. I did. You know, my best friend has this pair of shorts that people will yell at him on the street and go, "Nice shorts, dude," all the time during the summer. And I think they're being I know they're being sarcastic. And he doesn't care. He loves those shorts. And he goes, "I got them for $3. I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, he tells people that. I got them for $3. Yeah, this man doesn't care. And he will wear a shirt that says, "I love my wiener," and it has a wiener dog on it. He doesn't have a wiener dog. Okay, that's what I'm talking about with Aquarius. And people are like, "Oh, you have a wiener dog?" And he goes, "Yeah, I call it Pepe." Come on. So this is how he lives his life. This is normal for Aquarius. The thing is, what makes this difficult to describe an Aquarian is you can't fully describe them because they won't allow themselves to be described. They're constantly changing and evolving. So if you see one Aquarian, you'll know they're an Aquarian, but yet they'll be very different from the other one because they're constantly changing. They don't like to be put into a box. Oh no, once you think you have them figured out, you don't. Because they're going to do something that totally throws you off their trail, and that's how they like to live their life. They really do. They are not going to be put in a box. They are not going to be labeled because they feel that labels harm people. Labels, not good. Once you label things or name everything, that's when trouble starts happening, because then people are put into boxes and they can't get out of them. They don't like that. They want a world with no labels. Just let people be individuals, okay? We don't need any of these crazy labeling. How many times have I said it? Many times, but it's true. They don't want it. They think it's useless. They think in the end it's more damaging. It stops free thinking. And they're about free thinking. It's interesting, they're about free thinking until you challenge one of their opinions, because they're extremely opinionated. And they're very stubborn with their opinions, and they will fight you to the death if you challenge it. And just don't, because you'll be in an argument for, I've done this where I'm like, it's 4 a.m. We've been arguing for 3 hours. They argue. They're one of the most argumentative signs in the Zodiac. But that being said, honestly, because sometimes they can be a little bit quirky and over the top, and there's this side that you mentioned earlier that's very gentle about them, that's very quiet. It's there. It's just you need to see them in their own environment, away from other people. They love other people, but they need to get away from them. And you'll see a very different side to them. And that's when sometimes you'll see the real Aquarian coming out. Well, it's all the real Aquarian. It's just that other side that a lot of people don't see. The gentler side, the quieter side, the more introspective side. It's definitely there. They do like to put on a show. Not in the way that Leo does. Like, Leo does it to get accolades and people go, yeah, Leo's in the house. Aquarius doesn't care about being the center of attention. They usually are, but that's not their main goal. It's just because they're so unique and eccentric that they just become center of attention. That, and they have a loud mouth and they're opinionated. So when you're spewing off opinions and you challenge other people, yeah, they're kind of one of those polarizing signs. It's interesting. Like, certain signs will get along with them more than others. Like I said, earth signs, I've seen it where they get so annoyed by my friend that they get really pissed off by him. And because he sees certain ideals and certain viewpoints, and he won't agree with you just to shut you up. He will not. He will fight you to the end. Don't let an Aquarius and Capricorn be in the same room together. I've seen it happen. I remember I was staying with, because some things happened, and so we were staying with a Capricorn friend, and those two argued forever, and I had to get up early the next day, and I'm like, they're arguing in the room I was staying in. Why are you arguing in my room? I'm like, get the hell out. In my Aries nature, I'm like, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out. No, go. You've been arguing for 2 hours. Get out. They don't listen to me. You have Capricorn who's not budging. You have Aquarius who's not budging. He thinks he's right. He thinks he's right. I just want to go to sleep, and I want to punch you both in the face. There you go. So that explains those signs in a nutshell. They will fight you to the death. They really will. So if you don't want a long argument, don't do it. Because Aquarius will come at you with facts, figures, freaking bar charts, you name it. It's in an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like, oh my gosh. And then you'll think it's done. And 3 days later, you'll find all this stuff in your inbox about evidence from like Harvard studies. It's just, that's Aquarius. But there's a good side to it. And that's a bad side. The good side is though they really do care about individual causes and humans in general. Sometimes they're annoyed. They find people exhausting. But on the other hand, that's, they want to help people, They really do. But that being said, just because there's this love for humanity and fixing and bettering humanity, pardon, just because they want to do that, it doesn't mean they always want to be around it. And this is what I found about Aquarians, is they're extremely independent. They do not do well with needy people. So if you are interested in an Aquarian, or you want to befriend one or date one, may I suggest you give them a lot of space. These are people who need a lot of space. They are extremely independent, and they do not like clingy, needy people. You are going to push them away so quickly. You will do that to Aries. You will do that to Gemini. You will do that to Aquarians and Sagittarius. Okay, those signs don't want your neediness. They really do not. No. They're very interesting. One of my faves loves them. Don't know how I feel about this look, but we tried. We tried, Aquarius. My ride or die? Hell yeah. So, now we're moving on to the final sign of the Zodiac. I can't believe we made it. Dude, we made it. I cannot believe it. I finished something. Well, I haven't yet, so let's not jump up and celebrate. No. But we are ending with Pisces. Pisces is the final water sign and the final sign, period, of the Zodiac. Started with baby Aries, ending with the old man Pisces. Hell yeah. So, Pisces is interesting. There's some theories, and some people don't believe this, but there's a theory that basically Pisces has been through the full Zodiac, and this is their final hurrah, and that's why they carry all the different signs with them, but they're kind of tired, so they live a little bit in dream world. Some of them may perhaps like to partake in adult beverages or maybe drugs. If they are not into that, then they, they still will live in a dreamy state. Yeah, they're ethereal. They're it. It's like the heavens. It's the final thing. Aries is the baby exploring. Everything's new. Been there, done that. Pisces is over it. And so they're enjoying the last final moments of existence, and it's interesting. It's a very interesting sign. It really is, because it carries kind of the baggage of everyone else. So sometimes they're a little bit depressed. It's true. But Pisces, it's a fun little sign. It really is. It's our final one. And so we'll do something nice. We'll try to do something nice. I have no clue what we'll do with this palette. I had no clue what I was going to do today. I guess I kind of have an idea. Maybe something a little less crazy than this. Can't guarantee it. So Pisces likes some crazy. Yeah. So, yes, let me know what you think. Well, maybe what kind of look should I do for Pisces? Ideas. I always wing these things. What do you think of this? Blue. Yeah. Let me know what you think. And then until next time, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.